Advantage of the manufacturing revolution. National Reconciliation Week has begun, and for the first time it's coinciding with a federal election campaign. The Prime Minister marked the day pledging $115 million to fund Indigenous business and entrepreneurship. And while the number of Indigenous-run businesses is increasing, so is the gap with non-Indigenous Australia. The Productivity Commission says less than half the working-age population of Aboriginals are in jobs, and it's getting worse. But a new wave of entrepreneurs is determined to turn that around, employing Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders and mentoring new businesses. Here's Emily Stewart.
Troy Rugless founded construction and maintenance business Pacific Services Group 5 years ago. It's now one of the biggest Indigenous-owned businesses in the country.
When we started our business, we made sure that we were better than everyone else to take away the fear of being an Indigenous business.
The company's turning over $40 million annually and has grown to 150 staff, 40% of whom are Indigenous. Troy Rugless wants to prove entrepreneurs like him can help break the cycle of unemployment in Aboriginal communities.
There's data now available that suggests that an Aboriginal person is 100 times more likely to work with an Aboriginal business than a non-Aboriginal business. So it's just understanding of how we operate and what happens within communities and just that basic understanding.
How big?
Pacific Services uses Aboriginal businesses in its supply chain and mentors other startups, including Glenn Kelly, who started a skip hire business in Sydney last year.
To anyone that wants to start an Indigenous business, get out there, have a go. Don't whinge and whine and complain about what you're not getting or who's getting this and that. You get up, get out there and have a go.
Glenn Kelly says the key to his quick growth has been a new federal government procurement policy, which aims to award up to 3% of all contracts to Indigenous-run businesses by 2020.
This is giving Indigenous businesses an opportunity to get in and do business with government, which has traditionally been a really hard nut to crack.
Supply Nation is a not-for-profit which links Indigenous businesses with government and corporates. It says in the first 6 months the policy has awarded 750 contracts to 250 budding entrepreneurs. And the number of new Aboriginal-owned businesses on its books has skyrocketed from 300 to 1,000 in less than a year.
Just over $90 million worth of spend, and when you compare that to a couple of years ago, with the government spending, only about $6 million, it's had a really big impact across the sector.
Thank you for calling Supply Nation. You're speaking with Liz. How may I help you?
Supply Nation says the policy has also created awareness within the predominantly white corporate Australia.
It's definitely increasing the interest from corporate Australia in Indigenous businesses. We at Supply Nation have a very strong corporate membership, but we've seen that membership rise by up to 25% in the last 10 months.
Pacific Services is also enjoying stronger ties with corporates. It's launched a joint venture with global property firm JLL.
We're Australians and we're all Australians together, and in our view this is the right thing to do.
And for believers in an open market who are critical of the targets, Troy Rugless has this message.
They've had 200 years of a shut market. So it's been all one-way traffic until recently. So I don't agree with that. I think it's our time to stand up and be recognised as the true owners of this country and land, and let people know that we actually can do everything that you can do.
All agree they hope the targets will one day be unnecessary when doing business with Indigenous companies is commonplace.